Hello everyone. Today we're going to do a little video grinding this angle that we got right here to get that smoothed up. That goes into our squareness comparator gauge. That's basically the angle that ball or half ball it rides down under, and that's what pivots in there. So we want some really good smooth surfaces. The accuracy is nothing real critical, but we just need some nice smooth surfaces there. But anyways, I mentioned on our Instagram page, and I mentioned also I think in the last video that we've been buying some stuff from eBay, and this is a Suburban tool master grind, and this is the MG-5-CV S1, and it comes with a V-block that can be mounted in here. You can also turn the V-block this way, and then you can run 5C collets in there. And I took the motor off my Herrick fixture, and I wanted to mount it on here. Now, I didn't buy any of the mounting kits or was going to make any. I didn't want to go off the side. I wanted to go off the top, and you'll see when we get to the grinding part the reason I want to go off the top. If the motor's on the side, it gets in the way of the surface grinding guarding. And so anyways, it worked out that just about perfect with the Herrick fixture O-ring and the mounting on top, and all they had to do was add 2 1/4 tap toes over here. But anyways, there was an auction on eBay with this, and we've had pretty good experiences most of the time with eBay. I actually can't complain with what we got so far. But this one kind of scared me because the guy had very few sales. Nobody was bidding. I think there's only 5 people watching, something like that. And so these, without the motor, brand new, they go for about $2,800. And so this one, the bidding started at $1,000, and so I bid $1,025. Actually got it for $1,000. And but anyhow, the person that was getting this from, kind of scared me a little bit. Now, I don't want to blame him. Maybe him being new at it. Maybe he just didn't know what's going on. But it didn't arrive at the date that they claimed, and then so anyhow, we had to get some communication going, and mention that we haven't got it yet, and then he wanted us to provide some information I think that eBay should have provided. So there was a little confusion. Finally, it got shipped, but in the meantime, I was looking at all the eBay scams, and I thought, oh, I think this might be our first one. Well, anyways, it finally did arrive, and it's nice and tight on the spindle with the Herrick spin fixture that you've seen in our previous videos. I get about a 1/10,000th of an inch tick if you would run, and with an indicator on there, you get about a 1/10,000th tick in there, which is very common for that type of unit. In fact, that's what I believe the specs call for, a 1/10th TIR. And so the Suburban tool, this comes over here, and we'll put a link to Suburban tool where Don Bailey's explaining the inner workings and the guts of this. I like this unit because they're using a tapered bearing in there. Plus the bearings they have are special made, and I believe that they say they're guaranteed to be within 50 millionths TIR, which would be twice as good as a Herrick. But when I put an indicator up here, I bet there's less than 10 millionths that I'm getting with that little tick in the TIR. So the unit's new, it's nice and tight, and I'm pretty happy with it. The one thing that was a little disappointing was the box that it came in. Well, it came in multiple pieces. So the seller, he did a pretty poor job as far as packaging on there, but this is something that with a little bit of glue and a couple wood screws, I think we can fix up and we'll be good to go. But for the project that I'm using, I cannot use this V block, you know, because there's no way to really hold this in a way that I want to get that so I can grind that face. So I got a couple things that I wanted to do over with this unit. And one of the things I want to do is be able to make a larger faceplate so I can do bigger parts. And because the way that this is designed, it's going to work better than the Herrick fixture, because of the Herrick fixture, the base of it sticks out much further. And so I'm limited from my center line down how much that I can swing. On this, I can put this up on one of our cubes and gain 2 inches on the center height and get a bigger swing. Also, I like this design because I can make something like this. This is what I made up for mounting the part. These 4 screws will mount in the 4 screws there. This right here will mount with 2 832 screws. That gives me a little bit of travel, so I can line that up. Then I plan on making face plates with a similar design, and somewhere down the line I believe I'll be making approximately an 8-inch face plate that I can use, and that will come in handy for bigger parts. And because these are tapered bearings, they're going to have a lot more load that it can handle. And so I'm pretty excited about this unit, and so I'm going to go ahead and set this up and get the part pretty close to indicated in. Let's see. Yeah, I can. Let's see, I got stuff over here. I'm just going to get this hole. It's a 1/4-inch reamed hole that I got in the middle, and I'm just going to get it loosely indicated in. I'm not going to be able to get it perfect. This is all machined, and then I ground stuff, but I plan on adding to this in the future, and so I'm not going to heat treat it. I'll probably be adding some 1/4-20 tap toes on the side, some 1/4-20s in the inside, and I'll be able to use this fixture for a lot of other parts there. So it'll stay soft for a while until I get a lot of things figured out with it. And that'll be close enough for what we're doing right now. So it's really nice because I can make custom tooling that goes on here, face plates, different fixtures for doing oddball parts. So that's something I'm going to be real excited about. I can take this O-ring here and stretch it up. So I got a forward and reverse on there. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this part and I'm going to mount that on. I got to go get me a hex wrench a second here. And so what I have here is I got a part of an ejector pin. What's going to be nice about that, the 1/4-inch hole, which is indicated in kind of close, That's where this fits in there pretty good. And this head should be pretty close there, so I can just use this to get it rough lined up. These were the shortest 832s that I had that would go in there, but the way this thing is designed, that works out pretty good. I could always grind the screws down too, but like I say, there's plenty of room in the back here. Now I'll have to get me something real quick to pull that pin out from the back side. There we go. Kind of sideways here. Well, actually, before I do that, we got a problem that you can see. Because my center height is 3 inches, this is a lot longer. If I would try to rotate this, I'm going to be hitting into the table. But the nice thing about this unit, actually another one of the nice things, is it is set up so that I can actually bolt it to this cube, which is 2 1/4 inches high. And what that will do is give me more room. Anyways, by mounting this up higher, now I got a much larger swing, and I can just keep going up and up and up within reason. But this is going to work real nice now, because now I can spin it and it should grind up nice. And what I got that kind of rough indicated in using that ejector pin, or located roughly. We'll set this up now and see if we can see how close we got it. And it looks like we're within about 4 thousandths. So I can actually adjust that in a little bit better. There's low, and that's high. And now we're within about 3 or 4 tenths. Yeah, it's under 5 tenths. So we'll go to the surface grinder and we'll start getting set up there. Already got the Planet 600 set up. We'll set this up. We'll indicate this angle and we'll come back and show you the setup there. So what I've done, I got my mag base attached to the spindle, actually not spindle, what holds the spindle, actually what's holding my Planet 600. I got it attached on there, and then I got it set, and I already got it indicated in, but basically all I have to do to copy that angle, and again, the angle's not important. I got it just at 82 degrees included angle. I just used a 82 degree chamfering tool. I'll be getting a carbide one at 90 degrees in the future and making these at 90. But anyhow, you can see with the indicator, you just go back and forth, and I just twisted the block, done this all off camera, twisted the block around until I got her indicated in close. Now the next step that I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to take the wheel. Are you focused on this, Kat? I'm going to have to take the wheel. It measures about 390 right now. Well, that's a 375 hole that's in the middle, so I'm not going to be able to get in there unless this is down. Preferably, a 1/4 inch wheel would work perfect for that. I don't have any in that size, so I'm going to try to knock that down a little bit, dress it down close to 300, and then we should be okay. I'll just have to be careful on the depth that I go. But that part of it's not going to be that critical either, because of the fact that the ball rides way high on the angle. So anyways, I'll get set up to dress this, and we'll get right back with you. Okay, we're spinning at about 65,000 RPM on there, and I just touched, so we're about 390, so I'm just gonna set the digital at 0. I go down about 45 thou. We should be in about the 300 range. Just taking a few thou at a time. Put this plastic shield up because this Planet 600 will blow air that way, and I want to keep all that away from the master grind. What I'm going to do is I'm going to relieve a little bit of the wheel so that we only have about 1/8 of an inch or so in the front that's actually touching. Now we got to get the wheel lined up. And we want to be as close to center line as we can. And with a system like this, it's actually pretty simple. You can eyeball it if you want, but if you want it more accurate than that, and then what you can do is let me see, let me get my stop roughly set up first. what I can do is I can hold my stop and I can wind this just till I see some sparks. There, I'm just touching. I can set my digital to 0. And now I can wind up. Again, just till we see some sparks. Here we just saw them. I got 197, 198. So if I go half of that, let's see, 99. That should put me really close to the center. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just got to be close. I'm going to reset my stop. Well, I know I'm going all the way in. And I always like to do my cutting in the Y-axis. I like to center in the Z and then make my movements in the Y. I always like to start on the inside and work back, so that I always keep my sharp edge to the front of the wheel. Just blank passing it. I think it all cleaned up in just that first cut. Yeah, and it looks really good. I'm just going to go just a couple more tenths on there. And just try to go for a little bit better finish, even though that one was actually pretty darn good. Oh yeah, beautiful finish. We'll let Kathy see if she can zoom up on there and get a look at that finish. It's going to probably be hard to capture it on the camera, but it is a nice finish. Got it? And what we'll do right now is we'll just set the indicator up again, and we'll see if it's how it looks under the indicator. One of the things, if you get a lot of weight hanging out, you need to counterbalance on the other side. Otherwise, if there's any play in the bearings, it's going to affect everything in that manner. So let me get this set up. So. Here you can see if we got more than 20 millionths variation, it's not even going a half mark, which on this indicator is a 50 millionths resolution. It's going about half a mark, maybe 25. But here we got a real nice accurate angle. Concentricity is great. And for what this is using, I don't have to have the precision as far as location, as far as the diameter. All I need is just a nice smooth surface. And that's what this has achieved. And like I say, I'm really impressed with the finish on there. So that will make doing this part of the arm for the squareness comparator checker, it'll make it nice and easy. But anyways, we've been getting a lot of nice eBay finds on some tooling, and it's actually working out nice. This is equipment that we've been needing for the shop for a while. The accuracy on here is a lot nicer. I ground a diameter piece the other day just to check it. Beautiful finish, and again, you probably had that 10 millionths tick that you can see in there, which is plenty accurate for just about everything I'm ever going to do. So, and the nice thing, right now I'm just mounting this on one of our cubes, but I'll be making a special mounting block on here, and I'll probably have a couple different sizes. But if I can get a 10-inch swing on there, that will cover mostly just about everything we need. But the beauty of this, I can keep going up and up and getting a bigger swing for the part. And by making an 8-inch faceplate in the future, and having a hole pattern similar to what we have on our cube over here, every half-inch increment, I can bolt rails and stuff on that, and I'll be able to do some very precision hole location from one hole to another in both directions. In other words, I can turn this into a high-precision jig grinder. And if you got multiple parts, I've done this in the past. I can't show you the part that we used to make, but it would have 2 ream toes in the bottom. It would have tooling balls on the side with a 3/8 diameter on the other side. There's about 6 holes on that unit that had to be ground, and they were holding a 1/10 location between the hose, and on the diameter of the hose they were holding within 2/10. And with the setup I had in the past, we done it same thing. It was a different, wasn't a Planet 600, I think it was a 500, because that's quite a few years ago. But having a faceplate and using gauge blocks in combination with the holes, it was fast. And we used to do these 10, 20 at a time, and it was just actually a very fast way of grinding those blocks. And like I say, we had to, I showed it to you, but we had to sign a non-disclosure on that years ago, so I can't show that part. But anyhow, we'll be in the future, you'll be seeing videos of us using this setup in some future videos on some of the items. When we get to the high precision, low profile sine bars, I plan, instead of using the jig grinder, I plan on grinding the hole on the base part with that 4-inch between center on rolls. I plan on doing it here because, like I say, if you get into production work and you get things dialed in, it's just setting the part in and going, setting the part going. And if you use CBN wheels for your grinding over there, you're zero. Once you get the first one set to 0, by the time you go through 20 parts, you might be 1 or 2 thousandths difference, and you don't have to dress it out. One of the other items we got on order, and it should be coming in soon, I have an 8-inch surface grinding CBN wheel, and I've had a couple comments that people wanted to see dressing and truing the CBN wheels. So we'll probably have that in a video coming up here pretty soon, because I got the 8-inch wheel and I got a special tool. It's a special diamond tool. It's only 30 bucks, but it's designed for truing up the CBN. It's one of the fastest ways to do it. Use that in a combination of your white sticks, and you can have one trued up and dressed out in no time. So anyways, that'll be it for today. We'll see you next time.